must have.
Okay, it's 5:30. Call the Frankfurt Redevelopment Commission to order. Roll call, please.
Nikki Beam,
Present.
Joe Palmer,
Present.
Chris Vaughter,
Present.
John Virtue,
Present.
Eric Woods, Bud McQuaid.
Oh, I'm supposed to say present, since I don't come very often, they coined it then.
We are being recorded tonight, so did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes that Nikki did last meeting?
What a fine job.
Yeah, I've looked at the minutes. We'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes passed. Any public comments? Okay. I had trees on the agenda. This is in reference to the trees that we put in a few years ago on around the sidewalks downtown. We had 6 of them that actually either died or something happened to them. So I had the Parks Department, they'd called me, and I got them to get us a quote for 6 new trees and water bags for them, which amounted to a total of about $1,428, and they will take care of planting them, taking care of them again. So if you go around the square and you see a tree plot that doesn't have a tree in it, that means it died off. So if everybody's okay, I'd entertain a motion, and then I'm gonna throw this claim in with the claims and allow us to sign it. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the trees around the square that need to be replaced.
I'll second.
okay, I have a motion and a second to approve purchasing 6, they're kind of like the bow hall maples. I'm not for sure. It says in there what it is. It's a different type of maple because they can't get the bow halls, but it's all similar tree. So, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Also on the agenda, I had sidewalks down. I'm not going to probably do it in the next 30 days or 60 days, but I thought I'd ask the board to go ahead and give permission to start seeking a quote on our project one for next year would be looking at the sidewalk from basically down by Heather's at Jackson. I know it was put in with the Washington Street project, but with the new annex building, it doesn't look quite right down through there. We've had a lot of tripping hazards through there where it's rised and shut down. So I'm trying to get permission to possibly seek a appraisal, and
I don't remember. Glad somebody does.
anyway, I'm going to look at that as a project one. It'll go from the annex building there by Arnie's, possibly replacing all that sidewalk with new tree plots and trees all the way down to Jackson Street. That would be project one. If we have the money, I'd like to get another project 2 estimate on from Washington, basically from Maine to Columbia. I'm not saying all that'll have to be replaced, but I want to look at it. This runs along Iron Block down through there where the trees are there, and try to uniform that up a little bit with the rest of the square. So I guess what I'm looking for again is just permission to later this fall seek out getting the estimates on it or looked at, so for an appraisal.
Does that include the stamped area?
That will be we have our own stamps, the city
Right,
does,
right.
and uniforming that back up with the rest of the square rather than what's there now.
It'll go
So
back exactly like it was.
that's our plan, is just to make it look like the rest of the squares there.
So are you just looking for a consensus?
Yes, just basically any questions or, I know we budgeted, John and I, when we set up the budget, we had, and I can't remember off the top of my head, X amount of dollars for sidewalk projects, so we've used some this year around the annex. Not so much for that, but it also covers lights and stuff like that down there. Now, the county, I did work that deal out. The county is picking up the tab on back by the alley at the rear of the annex, all the way to the railroad tracks. They're picking up that tab. And they made a mistake in the front of the building. If you see, there's a lip about like that runs down through that. Sidewalk kind of goes up and over. And now they're going to go back and tear all that out and re-pour that to a level. That's why I got the stamps to give to them, so that they can go ahead and re-stamp it back to our stamps. So that's going to be on the county. These are the other two projects, hopefully for 26 is what we're looking at.
Are the curbs all right? But they're around where the county's at?
Yeah, the curb should be fine there.
Okay, they didn't mess them up with their equipment
No,
over?
Not that I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, they poured all new on the west side of the building,
Yes.
all the way down, so. Yeah, that has been challenging because of communications with everybody. But I want to thank Commissioner Brewer. He worked real good with us to try to get that problem resolved. So. Okay, back to the sidewalks. Does everybody feel okay to go ahead and do it this fall?
Proceed by consensus, yes.
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 Okay, thank you. We're down to claims. Everybody had a chance to look at the claims, including the one for the trees that I just put in there.
I got a question on this one we were just handed.
Okay?
Don, was this given to us back in August of '24 for approval?
It was.
Okay.
Yes, because there was something about the second building. They were doing something.
That was the building that got knocked down by the
The-
front loader or
The backhoe got
put a
it.
big hole in the wall.
Yes.
And then they came by and talked to us about doing like Lehman's where they put, I can't think of the material on
Drive
top,
it?
which is allowed on top, but not on the bottom. And then they did all that, painted it. But yeah, all that came before.
Okay. So maybe I missed that meeting. I don't remember it. Okay.
I do vaguely, now that I see this, I do remember.
So was this included in the claims then that we're approving?
This does not have a claim to it, right?
No.
Not at this
I'll
point.
bring it to the next meeting, but I just need to go
Okay.
ahead and pay it, and then I'll have you guys sign it at the next meeting as soon as I find it.
What's the board's pleasure?
Make a motion to approve the claims as presented.
Okay?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to present or pass the claims as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I know that are you throwing this in there, John, or do we need to make a special one?
What are we talking about?
This is on Henshaw's to go ahead and pay it, but she'll bring the claim for the signatures.
If
at
we
the
approved
next
it, yeah, we need to throw that in there.
Okay. Good with that, Wanda? Okay. All right, facade grants. We had the one from 51 West that Dr. Snyder had presented. I had Mr. Stock make sure that it got out to the subcommittees.
You did?
One thing I need to add, though, is I think we have to send it to Main Street, too, to sign off, and I don't think we got that done. So, just future references on that. Did the subcommittee get a chance to talk or look at it?
Yeah, Bud and I talked earlier. Neither of us has a problem with it. He brought up the fact that he had tried to call Ken Stevens and hadn't heard back yet.
Yep. Okay, do we want to, the board want to go ahead and then pending Main Street signing off on it too.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm not sure what her timetable is. Usually she wants to get stuff done pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve it pending Main Street's approval.
Okay.
Second.
Bud, you good with that?
No,
though?
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I only have one question about it, though, is, Don, does that take a permit?
It does.
Does that take a state?
I don't think the state will have to be engaged in it because there's nothing inside, it's all on the outside. Basically, they're just taking the front door.
Yeah.
And moving it to the,
And they're gonna use the same front door?
yep.
Are they putting another door in place of that? I mean, is that what's going on? They're gonna,
You know, I'm not for sure, I'm guessing that the door that's in there gets kind of replaced from my understanding, they're just thinking everything moving to the front. I don't know if they are gonna put a door back in, I don't know if that's in their plans now. but I didn't
well,
see
it's
it.
kind of unclear when I was reading the scope of work.
Because she was more concerned about just getting the front door to the front so that all the leaves and trash stuff doesn't blow inside the,
And that's kind of an oddball door. Anyway, it's like, what, 4 foot or 42 inches or something?
yeah.
So you don't run right down the
Side, what do you call it, side window? kind of
side
thing.
lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think originally, wasn't that Calder's furniture?
Yes,
was, it was.
yes.
And it looks just, except for the door, it looks just like it always has with Colton.
Right.
And the downtown standards allow you to either have the reset or the door at the sidewalk. So you can do either. You can't do much with taking the windows out because it's supposed to be like 75% of the glass in front. So if she doesn't do anything to the windows in front and move everything, she should be okay according to the standards downtown.
Yeah, if she's just sliding it out. One
Yeah,
that's just
basically what it is.
Just push it out. I don't have a problem with that.
No, I don't either.
You know.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second for us to approve it pending Main Street approval on it. So, with that being said, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Soon as you can get that sent to Main Street,
I'll do that.
get that back, and I don't think it'll take
I got an
a
email
couple
too.
days, maybe at the most for us.
Yeah, I left a message with, I didn't speak to her, but she called me back about an hour ago, or left a message. And but she was aware of 51, so
Okay.
she shouldn't have a problem with it.
Okay. I don't think there was anything else on the facade grants. We hadn't received anything else in, have we?
No, I have a new business I've got, what I talked to you about.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know where we stand on how much money we've allocated this year?
On facades, I'll have to get a new, with going back and paying Mark some, and
Okay.
so I'll have to get that squared away. Make a note. New business, Don, if you'd like to come up.
I'm getting close time, but I'll come over here, I don't want you
Well, I don't know how the new
to. Okay.
programming's
I
working.
know they want you close to the microphone. Couple things. First, when we talk about facade grant, I had a conversation today or this week with Tony Del Real. Tony Del Real owns the building on the corner of Jackson and Washington that Heather's Flower Shop is in and Little Miss Cupcake. So he was asking about the challenge at Little Miss Cupcake is the same thing that's going on or did go on at CNR Catering where it's like, I think 3 or 4 steps up to get into the building. Now it's not handicap accessible and Little Miss Cupcake is having some challenges with it. So he's asked about the ability to make it handicap accessible. And when he did, when he does that project, he's now looking to maybe come out. I think the sidewalk runs about 17 feet wide there in that section. So he wants to come out about 7.5 feet where the line is between the two sections of sidewalk. And he wants to now be able to make it a handicap and then make a little bit of a deck like there, not, I'm guessing of concrete, not of wood. And then maybe put on an awning over the top so that if you go into Little Miss Cupcake and get something, you can then sit out on the front porch or on the sidewalk and have your just desserts. The question that I have to you is, being the fact that if he does that and it gets attached to the front and he puts an awning on it, is that considered a facade, part of a facade in a facade grant? Now, talking about the ADA ramp, that's a whole different story, but if he does the decking part and the awning, would that be considered a facade, part of the facade grant? I didn't have that answer, so that's why I bring it to you guys.
The awning falls under that category. We could definitely help with the awning. As far as the other, we've never been approached
Well,
for anything like that.
the sidewalk and a ramp, this would be fall back to you is that state highway right of way down through there, and is
And-
that going to affect us or?
Great question. So I've made calls. I'm actually waiting for a call from an Ashton Tribby from NDOT to see about whether or not he needs a permit from them. I spoke with an NDOT personnel prior to trying to make contact with Ms. Tribby, and he told me that normally from the curb and the sidewalk to the building, the city kind of oversees those things. But he also thought that maybe they would need permission from both the Board of Works and from the state. And so I'm kind of filling that out.
Okay.
But I didn't know if I go back to talk to Tony about whether or not he'd be able to apply for a facade grant for the project.
Do we still have plans back in the archives of when they redid Jackson Street back in the day? It should show you
You
what
know-
your right-of-ways are.
That's a great question. I have to go across the
Yeah.
highway or this.
It's been several years ago.
Yeah, but I bet we do.
That's one of the problems that we had when we were there, when they were doing Washington Street, was that the right-of-way is at the face of the building, because all that mechanical there at the old Pennies and so forth was actually in state property. We had to have special okay there. I can't answer or have any idea what it is on the other side, but I'd look at my plans. My plans you should see where the right-of-ways are indicated.
Yeah, Beacon shows from wall to wall, just like you said,
Yeah.
which would include the sidewalks. That's why we are making contact with NDOT to see if he has to get permission from both. But I still need to know whether or not the project falls under the facade grant process.
Well, I would say, and I agree with John, I believe the awning falls under facade.
Okay.
Sidewalks, I think we need to verify so we're not stepping on anybody's toes, because last thing we want to do is go in and do something and then find out it's not our property or.
So if he has the right to call for the permit from the state and from the Board of Works and they grant that, then he come back to see about whether or not that project constitutes part of the facade of the building?
I don't think sidewalks are covered under facade grant.
I don't know either.
Is that something the city can do under the sidewalk, 50/50 sidewalk grant?
No, because he's actually not putting a sidewalk in. He's looking at putting in some type of a patio or a deck in front of his building, so it wouldn't follow under that.
Seems like that would be a part of it.
I would probably say, if he's gonna apply for the facade grant, try to get us a better diagram.
Okay.
Hopefully we, as a board, can separate if we need to.
Okay.
Either separate it and go to sidewalks on one part and facade on the other, or, I don't know whether we can loop it all into one too, so.
Okay, I'll talk to Tony about that. A new project or something new. I was informed this week that the building located at 359 North Jackson Street, which is Dave's Repair Shop, is that right? The old Metzger gas station across from Coca-Cola bottling, right beside McCollum's.
Used to be Dave's Radiator at
That,
one
yeah,
time, Dave's
that
Automotive.
building there is a building that can be purchased. It's not like publicly out. He put it out once, but he said he's not in a big hurry about it. I didn't ask about the cost because I know that doesn't matter to you, because the only way that you can bid on it is by two bids and then averaging them out
Appraisals.
for, yeah. So I just wanted you to know that it's a possibility if it's something that you wanted to check into with the owner, and that owner is Joseph, is it Avey? Eavey. And I have his phone number in case you want it. That's what I need.
I might add to Don's that I also received a call here about a week and a half ago from a gentleman that owns where Visiting Angels is. The guy, he has the hotel in Rossville. He is wanting to know about possibly selling his building there too, if we were interested in it. I told him I'd bring it up at the board and we could discuss
Yeah, he's been trying
that
to sell
too,
that for a
so.
little bit.
Yes, and I did explain to him that if the board chose to do that, that we'd have to have 2 appraisals on it, and it would be somewhere in that appraisal area, so. So that's, where I left that off, I just,
Has there been any more dialogue on the building on North Main Street that we've discussed?
me and Don talked about that today, so.
It's kind of crazy right now. I think what I'm going to do is make contact with Jeff Little, as he represents the other side of the family that has interest in the building, because I'm not getting anywhere with Barbara now, and see what Jeff has to say about the building. They need to make a decision on whether they're going to sell or accept the bid, because we're not going to go all winter with the building the way it is. It's got to come down.
I advised,
They got to find somebody who's willing to put money in to put it back up. So.
I advised Dawn, there was a business that used to be here in town that she has been talking with. I'm not gonna mention names, but, he planted the seed in her mind that's worth $60,000 or $80,000. That being said, I advised Dawn to let her know that we had had 2 private individual appraisals on it from real estate companies here in the area. And both of them, that was the appraisal that come back on them, so.
And I did do
So-
that. I didn't get a response, but then this week I got a response saying, hey, I've never heard from you since what you did. I sent you the information that you had told me to send out, so.
So that's kind of where we're at. If the board would like me to pursue either of those properties or both of those properties, I can do it. I'll just leave that up to the board. I'm talking in reference to Dave's Automotive and then also all I can say is where Visiting Angels is, it's both levels there on that building, so.
Well, I guess, it would come down to what are we gonna do with them if we get our hands on them?
Yep. We also, I think it's new enough in the game right now that we can take it under advisement, think about it for a
Yeah.
month and then come back.
Dave Meek's building is a nice building, pretty structurally sound, I've been in it. But the problem is it's really landlocked right there, there's absolutely no parking.
Oh, yeah. You know, and he did advise me that he has 1 renter there right now, which we all know who that is, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jill, while you're on the subject of buildings, would you think about getting in touch with Louis Evans on his building where community corrections used to be, as that roof is starting to fail and water starting to come in through the roof of the second floor? The reason community corrections left was because of the leaks that were actually coming through into the building. To see about the potential of trying to get that into your hands so that.
Well, that or that facade grants would cover part of that for him if he chooses to do that. I believe he has a renter going in there.
Does it?
The last I heard, yes.
Well, I'll reach out to him and ask him about the ability to get a roof in, to get the roof, at least roof fixed,
Yeah.
if that's okay.
I mean, we approved roofing on facade grants a couple of years ago, I think, or more.
Yeah, that would be an
So-
expensive roof, but we could cover 20,000 of it,
Okay. I'll talk with him.
Okay.
assuming we still have that in our budget this year, I don't know. where we
Well,
stand.
I'll get back, and of course, yeah, I'll get back and I can do some checking on that too, so. Okay, any other new business? Old business. I wanted to bring up the lady sitting beside me here, because I believe this could potentially be her last meeting. So I wanted to thank her for her service and the times that she's put into the Redevelopment Commission, and wish you the best in your future.
Thank you.
Are you moving away, Nikki?
1 mile out.
1 mile out, huh?
I'm gonna be 1 mile out. I'm on Mulberry, Jefferson,
Okay.
about a mile out of the,
Sad to see you go. You and I are the last two
I
originals.
know, we are. We are.
Well, Eric's back,
Yeah, that's true.
if he shows up.
Yeah.
No, take that, Eric, no. Okay, anything on old business from any of the board members? Next meeting will be August 28th, and I'll try to give you a phone call on the Poseidon monies, if I can do that.
Okay.
So, okay, I'll call the meeting. Any,
I have a question.
Bud?
It's just a statement to be made in regards to the schools and in regards to the proposed data center. Will that impact the schools at all if that does go, as far as TIF money and so forth?
I can answer that.
I'm pleased to.
And the answer is no. The only funding that they'll be reaching out for is state funding for the project, because there's money for that. They're not expecting anything from the city or county as far as any type of an abatement or any of that stuff. All their funding is gonna be coming from the state.
So we won't be
That's what they said.
spending any money or receiving any money?
Well, I'm going to say, my understanding is some of this, most of this is going to be in the county TIF,
Yeah.
not ours.
Well, there's talk about it, maybe, Alicia can answer this. So if this does go, is there going to be area that could be under consideration for coming into the city's jurisdiction?
So you're talking the data center, right?
Yes.
So they were considering a voluntary annexation. They are, to my knowledge, no longer considering a voluntary annexation at this point. The land that is out there, that was going to be potentially annexed is within the county's TIF district. Not all of the parcels are in the TIF district, but a pretty significant number are. So if they were to be annexed in, the way that the law works is that the TIF dollars that were going to be TIF dollars to the county would still go to the county, because there is a debt service that they would have to take care of. But the assessed valuation for the property tax, for the normal tax, that would then go into the city instead of the county if it were to be annexed. But at this point, there's no petition for annexation or anything that's pending.
Okay, well, at our just previous school board meeting, the question was just asked, not during the meeting, but just asked, is this going to impact the schools at all? Because money obviously is an issue for all of us.
Sure.
And the question was asked to me, he said, could you ask? I said, I'll ask. But I said, I doubt if we would get anything out of it. We're not getting anything out of them now. I mean,
Well, if they were to annex, then the city would get some funding from that, just from their normal city property tax that they would get. But the TIF dollars would still go to the county.
but would that be to Frankfurt schools or to Clinton Prairie schools?
That I can't answer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that I can't answer. I do know that there would be some financial impact that would be positive to the city. I can't answer what that would look like. That's for someone much smarter than me at Reedy.
And I would say at one point, it falls where your boundaries are.
Right.
Where they set versus the school.
And I think we all
districts.
realize that, but since everything's kind of up in the air right now, everybody wants to make sure, who's the dumber one? Those who ask and those who don't ask,
Well,
No.
At this point, to my knowledge, which is limited, my understanding at this point is they have pulled their documentation from the city so that they are pursuing it on a county level at this point. So the city wouldn't really have any involvement, except that there is a portion of land that I believe they're under contract for that is within the city limits.
Okay.
So depending on how the project sits, if it's on the city portion, that is in city limits, and that would be city tax dollars. But if it's out in the county portion, then that would be county at this point.
Well, I just told him, I said, our biggest impact to us will be residents, people who might be working in that, employees, get them to move into their new housing or any other housing that's available. But it was just a question.
Yes.
And I said, I'll ask the question.
So unfortunately, I can't give you all of the answers, but
come
what I
on.
can tell you is that at this point, there is no petition to annex in front of the city at this point. So at this point, the majority of the project, there's like 700 and some acres that is out in the county, and at this point, it will stay in the county. There is about 100 acres that is within the city limits.
That still could be a potentially significant amount on a $10 billion build.
Yes.
Well, I will tell you that there is more questions than there is answers at this time.
Yes.
Of course.
Well,
I believe that.
Both sides.
Yeah, I don't know that the developer has fully determined exactly what they are doing at this point. So, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions? Call the meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Need anything else, Joe?
No, ma'am. Good seeing you. How's the baby doing?
Oh, she's great.
This one.
She's a little sweetheart.